We got lu rou fan, which is braised pork rice, the quintessential Taiwanese thing to get. Looks like there's some like garlic in there. Hell yeah. It's very tasty. Not a lot of meat. It's $2 Canadian for this little dish here, but this one's good.
Found this Taiwanese beer called Gold Medal. It feels weird opening beers here, but it's what people do. We're not in Canada. Refreshing.
Next we have the oyster omelet. Sounds kind of strange. Like I'd never think these two things go together. My brother lives in China and he's been to Taiwan before, and he said like it's a very Taiwanese thing. It's something you should get. So we got it. And I think what's super interesting about a lot of good food in the world is that both the lu rou fan and the oyster omelet like originated because they were trying to use scraps of food.
You're eating this as it was meant to be eaten. Like post-war, in a crisis, there's no meat. You're not like, oh, double meat. It's not Chipotle. You get what you get, but the flavor carries you to where you need to be.
And then the oyster omelet originated in Fujian, where they had like an abundance of seafood, and they're just basically wondering like, how can we just use all the seafood that we have? This is gonna be a pretty unique experience, I think. Yeah, it has like a ketchup-y, tomatoey flavor. It has this like starchiness from potatoes, a sweet potato is what it says. Very slimy. I don't think it's something I'd get again, but it's interesting, very interesting to try. I would still say like, if you're here, I would try it just because it's a very like Taiwanese dish.
It's not like Nickelodeon slime. It's like an appetizing slime. It has a unique personality. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean like you be friends with it long term, but you're like, I find it interesting for now. I like it.
Fucking bussin'. Took a little nap, took a shower, got dressed, ready for the second part of our day. We're starting off the night with a beef skewer. We're only like a few days recovered from our food poisoning in Bali, but hey, when in Taipei. Was it also a meat skewer that sent me and my brother to the hospital from stomach pain in China many years ago? Yes, it was. Here we are, taking a risk for the flavor. You see the steam?
That's juicy. It's cooked through. I'd get sick for this skewer. I'd get food poisoning for this. 100%. Meat's back on the menu. For days that we've been here, I've wanted to grab this cheese hot dog. I've been seeing them everywhere. I know it's just some trashy tourist shit, but it still looks good, and I still wanted to get it. That shouldn't have gotten the reaction that it did. Whatever, I'm just a cheese basic. I did not ask to be this way. I love cheese. I love stupid hot dogs. It's sweet, crunchy on the outside, cheesy on the inside. But yeah, it's a shameless thing that you can get that tastes good just to like experience being a visitor in Taipei. But obviously get real Taipei food. Just don't feel bad about getting this.
The same guy who made the cheese hot dog was also doing the like flame grilled steak cubes. Hard as fuck.
It's tough.
Really tough. This ain't shit.
It was like $8.
This is another one where like they get you because they're fucking doing all this shit with the fire, flicking their wrist, but it's overcooked. I'd rather get a Taiwanese thing. Okay, as we're standing here eating like the mid steak cubes, there's actually a lady with a stall that says Taiwanese burger. It's basically a bao with braised pork, fresh cucumber, pickled vegetables, and then some like spices that I don't really know what it is, but I was like, yeah, throw it all on. There's no one there. There was no line. But Roman just went by feel. He was like, you know what? This looks pretty good. Let's just try it out. That's fucking tight. This is like the homemade shit. Like this lady is clearly like, she got her own recipe going on. This was 70 and that extremely mid meat was 200. Don't fall for the gimmicks, you know?
I feel like people were passing her over and just the vibe of the stall, I just felt like, let me try this. This could be good. There's something I like about her. And apparently my companion here says it was good, so let me try it. That is a surprise hitter. The bun is fresh, the pork is tasty, it's juicy, the cucumber adds a nice crunch. Sometimes it's these spots that are like not on the main strip. They just go off to the side, they don't have a line, they don't look as flashy. But this is surprisingly good, and this is like $3 Canadian. You've seen what we paid for other aggressively mediocre items. You just win some, you lose some. You gotta shop around, you gotta walk around. Just like if you feel in your gut something might be tasty, just try it, whatever. Try a bunch of different things, because some of them are gonna be forgettable and some of them are gonna be like surprise hits. So this is one of them.
Okay, I just want to point out, we were at that same stall at like 2 p.m. today. That was 8 hours ago. Same guy still there, same man still flipping up a storm. His wrists are like, he's doing some kung fu shit. 8 hours later, they're still there. They haven't slowed down. Their shift is not over. Like if they knew what would tire us out, they would like laugh the way they just laughed at Julia for not knowing Chinese. They're not human out here. They're like, I don't know, they're made in that Taiwanese semiconductor plant. They're not real people. They're still there like 10 hours later. I feel like a lazy piece of shit compared to, I'm just gonna go fucking stuff my face. Let's go.
That was the first time that I felt judged for not knowing enough Chinese. He looked at me and he's like, where are you from? Like, what menu do you need? And I was like, Canada. And he's like, I felt like a disappointment. I felt like it was like a disappointed grandpa. Like, man, you don't even fucking speak Chinese?
That's sad.
That's why he was like, that's why after I ordered, he's like, hey, step aside. Step aside.
Alright, I love fried rice. We just happened to be walking by and I saw this lady whipping up like a huge batch of rice, making it look easy, like effortlessly, like she was bored. Just a perfect fresh batch of rice, not too salty, not too greasy.
Very good. Asian food in Toronto, I feel always leans like very salty. It's not too oily. There's a little bit of sauce in the bottom. No, I'm not getting that like greasy feeling. This is the first time that I've actually been respected for my Chinese. She like first used English and was kind of like pointing at it, and then I said in Chinese which one I want, and she's like, oh, so you speak Chinese? And I'm like, just a little bit. I'll keep trying. Okay, we're ending the night off with some fresh fruit. I don't even know what this is. She just had some samples out and it was tasty, so we got some. It's sold by the gram, so it's pretty freaking heavy, but it's so fresh. We got that and we got some dragon fruit. Make sure you get some fresh fruit too, because it's also very tasty. Followed the Michelin sign. It's like thin noodles. It has pig intestine, some fish balls. The same thing happened where she's like, what do you want? And in Chinese I said number one. She still didn't understand me. And she just straight switched to English. And she's like, this one? You want this one? This one come with everything? And I was like, hi. Pretty fishy tasting. I feel like I've had pig intestine before, but I probably don't know the name in English. It tastes familiar.
It's on the more viscous side. I'm not crazy about the consistency. It is interesting. I know people look at me and they're like, this motherfucker just eats chicken breast. No, I'll eat organ, pig ear, intestine, tripe, shit like that. I'll eat it.
This place had a line. They had these sausages in a lot of different flavors. I got the barbecue satay, and it's wrapped in sticky rice.
It's really good. It's really sweet. It's unique. It's juicy. It fits this type of market. What does Julia want?
A drink. Ooh. Very sweet, because sugarcane is sweet. But this is like very nostalgic, because the only time I've had this is in China. Yay! Okay, last thing we got is the barbecue chicken, man. This we actually saw when we entered the night market, and Roman was like, hold up, there might be better stuff in the night market. And you know what? There wasn't. That's a juicy ass chicken. Outside is super crunchy. It's got like this sweet but also umami flavor. To be fair to Roman, if we got this at the beginning, we'd be fucking just carrying it around the whole time, because I wouldn't want to kill this entire thing and like not have an appetite for the rest of the stuff. This definitely worth trying. Taiwanese fried chicken.
This is a fucking thick boy piece of chicken. God damn. You eat this at the beginning of the night, your night's fucking done. What are you doing after that? You going to the club? So I was kind of right in a way. Walk around, do a little of soup, try a little hot dog. You fuck around with the other stalls, but you marry the chicken breast.
They put the meat in the dough and they slam that shit against the wall of this like huge chamber, and they just stick to the side, rising like these beautiful baby buns. Very hot to bite into. Nearly burned myself.
I'm just taking a hit off the steam. Nice and crispy. It's like crispy on one side, but like fluffy on the outside. The meat inside is mega juicy. It's a wonder.
It has a strong black pepper flavor. You can see the black pepper. It has scallions. It's so good. This is like something I want to make sure we got at the night market, and it was literally the first stall when we walked in. I think this is the thing we want. Like a red carpet was rolled out. They're like, come on in. This is probably one of my favorite things I've gotten so far. This has earned its Michelin status. I got papaya milk. Apparently it's a thing here. I know it sounds kind of strange, but I read that it's a thing that you should try, and it's tasty. And I do like papaya. That is tasty. We got mixed vegetables with beef. They don't tell you what kind of vegetables it is. It was 150 Taiwan, which is about $6 Canadian. This one was definitely on the pricier side. I think it's the most that we've paid at a night market. It's fresh veggies, it's fresh beef, and they cook it up in front of you. We have some PTSD from our food poisoning. We're a little averse to food that has been sitting there. But also, I just want it fresh. Like if I'm at a street market, I want them to be whipping it up in front of me. Not worth the price.
Not it.
It's not that flavorful. Like, I taste the sauté sauce that he put in, but it could be saltier. But I need my greens, so I'm gonna choke it down anyway.
Aggressively mid. The way they got me is the man was whipping it up in front of me, which I guess like I see the hand motions, I get excited, but I think it's all a trap.
You win some, you lose some.
It's okay. Not everything here is gonna be great.
We got oyster mushrooms. We went pretty classic with just getting black pepper. Chewy, bouncy texture.
If you're a vegetarian, this is the closest you'll come to a ribeye steak. No one did it better than him. He was doing little dances. He had a YouTube channel.
He didn't speak English, he just kind of like grunted sounds at me and I gave him money. He takes mushrooms and he turns it into a good time. The more fun it is, the more expensive it is, meaning the more you see the theatrics and the flick of the wrist, you know you're gonna pay a premium for that. It's part of the experience.
Okay, these are steamed pork dumplings. Not to be confused with xiaolong bao. They're not the ones that like burst in your mouth. They're simply like a cute little dumpling that you dip into vinegar. Tastes homemade. I'm not gonna lie, that has Mama Lee vibes. Juicy, flavorful.
That's as homemade as it gets. Family's literally making them right there.
I'm surprised they didn't like tell me to start rapping with them.
Yeah, they like get to work. This is that real shit. Tastes amazing. Family owned. It just makes no sense to eat anywhere else.
It's not as well known to tourists. It's more of like a local market, which is exactly where we want to be. Local food quality at local prices. The only time that I want to see like young people working somewhere is when you can clearly tell it's like a family run stall. Then it's legit, you know, because the recipe has come down the grandma to the mom, and now the kids are just learning. But when it's like a solo young person, like picking their teeth with a toothpick, smoking a cig, that's probably staff. That's not like, they didn't come up with that recipe. They're not finessing it, you know what I mean? Go to the wise elderly people who have the knowledge and the craftsmanship to create good food. And if there's young people, it's gotta be family. There's a lineup for this grilled squid. We went with salt and pepper, and he spritzed on some lemon, added in some onions, and there's your dish. They put also like, probably like soy-based type of glaze on as they were grilling it as well. There were two young dudes, but very likely be brothers, so still a family business. They just knew exactly what they were doing. The man was grilling twice. He'd take them off the grill, hand them to the other guy. The guy would cut them up. Then they go back on the grill to get some more flavor up in there. The man was grilling, drinking a beer, just having a good time, you know? And the good time resulted in a good taste.
So I just know it's food made with joy. It's not just this laborious forced thing. Guys just cracking beers. They were in a flow. They were just like two artists, like they've done this 1,000 times. So those are the spots we want to hit up. It's really good. A little sweet. I like the glaze. I like the char marks. Nice level of chewy. Quite good.
I freaking love watermelon. It's called Ru Jiao Mo. And basically it is pork and some peppers inside of this like really flaky pastry-like bun. This one had a little mini lineup because actually it's like taking a little bit longer to make because again there's a craft to it, but it just looked really good. She first had on the grill and then she like popped it into this like secret baking area underneath so that it would like puff up. And I'm really excited. It's very, very hot, so I might give it like a minute before I bite into it. I might burn my shit.
Oh, that's flaky.
The seasoning on that is so tasty. It's not actually a lot of bread. Sometimes like the bread's really thick and you get full, and you don't want to get full just eating like one thing at a delicious night market. So this is perfect. This is another one that I'd like take home for later.
This is probably my favorite thing at this market. It's like flaky, crunchy on the outside, juicy, tender on the inside. Towards the end, she topped it out with some of that pork juice that was just stewing in there. It's a masterpiece. Shit's not just sitting out for hours, like waiting for customers to buy it. Like you come up, she's like, you want it? She makes it right there. That's the way to do it. That yields the best things.
You know that mochi reel when you hit and it bounced back. Look at that. It's a ball of sticky rice Sticky rice goodness.
How is it?
Good. Sticky rice.
This chicken is cheeked out, man. On a Saturday night,